Is it recording? No, the volume, you can't turn the microphone volume up. I didn't just come to tell you a story. I came to tell you your story. Your parents are here.
They're here? In this house?
Mm-hmm. Your father will have to do the research, and you probably already know. He worked for a bug company.
Mm-hmm.
And you were at school, and he was at work. And he had a large tank in the garage. And Robert got out of the house, and it had a valve on it. And he covered himself in that chemical.
Robert did?
And your mom rushed him to the shower, and she got it all over her, and she was scared to death to tell anybody because she was afraid they were going to take you guys.
That happened?
Yes. She thought that they would...
Child Protective Services?
She thought that she would be arrested and that Marvin would lose his job. She never told Marvin all the clothes, Mom, all the clothes and the towels and everything she used to try to dry him off ended up in your laundry. All three of you were exposed. Marvin's clothes were washed separately, and he wore protective gear when he went out to work. But he was still exposed. And that's what caused his Alzheimer's and his dementia. And your mother never loved Robert more than you. She harbored so much guilt for what happened that she gave him extra attention because she was scared to death. She never meant to neglect you, and she couldn't tell you the truth. She couldn't tell anybody the truth.
Dad knew?
No.
Dad didn't know?
No, your mom almost took it to the grave with her. I'm the only one she told.
Does Robert know?
No. No one knows but me. I'm the only one that knows. And I wanted to tell you, when you go to your meeting on Tuesday, that you're not going to go in there defensive, and you're not going to go in there feeling like that everyone's against you. You're going to tell that woman exactly what I told you, and we're going to find out what that chemical is, and we're going to make sure that you get proper treatment where Robert didn't. The reason Granny withered up was because of that chemical. Nothing that
What I know what it's I can find out what it was.
It was
I know
used
that they don't
in
make
World
it anymore.
War II.
I know it's illegal now.
It was a German chemical warfare. It was a derivative of chemical warfare. And when they brought it back to the States, they couldn't use it to kill people anymore. So they diluted it, or they cut it, and they used it to kill bugs and pesticides, and it ended up killing almost the entire bald eagle population.
Because they ate the bugs that had been treated with it.
Not even, they don't eat
Or,
bugs.
Oh, they ate but they eat other
Yes,
things
every
that ate
live,
the bugs.
every live creature that they ate. And it wasn't just them. It was killing crops. And everyone was eating the crops. And everyone was drinking the water. And nobody knew how deadly this was. And you all were super exposed. And I just want you to know that any type of behavior that anyone wants to question, it was never you or Robert's fault, and it really wasn't Granny's.
Well, did she come to you and tell you to come and tell me this?
They needed closure.
Well, it took a lot for you to do that, Evan?
They needed to be able to pass on. And they couldn't, because they still had that to tell you.
And Dad didn't know.
No. And he didn't know he was sick either. And that's why all those things started happening, because every time we talked to them, they sounded fine. Everyone sounded fine. There didn't sound like there was anything wrong. And then when I showed up in 2011 and saw, how much they had decayed and how much they withered away, and if Robert had just stayed out of my way, I probably wouldn't have gotten to the bottom of it, but there would have just been better care all the way around. And if I'd known that he was so sick, if Granny had just been honest with somebody, we could have, eliminated all the pain and suffering that he put Kelly and Tyler and you and his mother and his father and me and Grace.
I don't know, Evan, if that chemical caused him to have a mental imbalance, but he definitely had one. He has one. He does not look at anything the way it really is.
I'm telling you that all four of you were exposed, and all four of you had a different degree of exposure, and Robert's was the most severe.
It got him the most.
Covered himself with it, which is crazy. That stuff smelled really bad. I don't understand why any kid would even do that.
He was a baby.
A baby?
Yes.
How did a baby get...
Was like...
I see.
Like Catherine.
He was like maybe 2 or 3. I don't know.
Mom wasn't watching him. That's how it happened. And that's why she was afraid.
He bolted out of the garage door. She was doing dishes, or she was doing something in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And she heard him screaming bloody murder. Curdling screams. And no one at that time was educated in the fact that this is man-made. This is a man-made chemical meant to kill people. And soap and water. Soap and water didn't do anything, and it never left the fabric. That's why Grandpapa always washed his clothes separate.